So I think you're alluding to something really powerful and this is, if I were to coin it so we can discuss it further, I think what people, and it's such an abstract term, what people look for in a leader is the ability in a absolute chaotic and uncertain time to, with backbone and certainty, and that's what you kind of alluded to with Ronald Reagan. You never doubted where he was going.
Right.
He had a clear vision. He had self-deprecating humor.
Yep.
He was respectful towards the other party.
Yep.
I mean, he knew how to strong arm them. I think that's part of leadership as well. You got to know when to, put up the fists. But other than that, he was a gentleman through and through, and his wife was as well. You might like her or dislike her, but she really filled those shoes of first lady.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you said you respected Bush as well. Both of them, or just one of them?
Very much. I have a lot more respect for George W. now that he's out of office. I think I reflect more on it. At the time, I was, I thought it was not a good presidency, but reflecting back, I think it was good. Walter Mondale. People will be like, "What are you talking about?
Who's he?"
Walter Mondale.
You might find a Chrysler somewhere that still has a Mondale sticker on it.
Yeah, probably. Walter Mondale ran in 1984 against a very popular Ronald Reagan. And he did something that I don't think you'll ever hear a politician do again. But it is true leadership. He stood before the Democratic convention, accepting the nomination, and said, "Let's get the facts straight. President Reagan will raise taxes, and so will I. He won't tell you I just did." In the end, Ronald Reagan did raise taxes because he had a runaway debt in his second term. And Walter Mondale was right. And Walter Mondale got trounced in the election. Not only for that, but Reagan was on a pathway. He was going to get reelected anyway. But I look at leadership like that, and that is, that's the harder right than the easier wrong. That's the true altruistic service, giving to the people, telling the people sometimes what they don't want to hear, but what they need to hear.
By the way, that's my consulting mantra.
Really?
Yeah. When I talk to clients, I just had one of my last podcasts with a really gregarious and great consultant in Dubai, and he's very similar. He also says, when he coaches people, he vets them. He says, "Are we compatible?" Because he says, "I'm not here to tell you what you need to hear." And that's the first thing when I talk to clients and they give me pushback, like, "Why are you saying that? That's not what I want to hear." I said, "Well, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm going to charge you probably a lot of money, but my job, I have a deeper and longer responsibility to you that transcends what you want to hear in the easy road. Okay? My job is to tell you what you need to hear. I'll try to do it in a diplomatic, constructive sort of way. But I will tell you what you don't want to hear instead of telling you what you want to hear, because if I tell you what you want to hear, I'm going to be the one you blame. And I don't mind you blaming me for my decisions or my suggestions and stuff like that. But I have to look in the mirror. I have to be able to say, "Hey, listen, if you're going to blame me, then blame me for something that I'm accountable for, and not something, I'm not a puppet. You don't stick your hand up my skirt and tell me what to say and do, and then I'll take the blame for you." That
transcends so much right there, what you just said.